Hey everyone, what's going on? Welcome into our latest TDR Cannabis in 5. I'm your host, Shad Dales. Listen, a lot of noise going on in this space right now, and I know a lot of people are impatient about what is going to happen next. But I want to bring all this noise together and really look at what's happening here on a larger scale. When we look back over the past 3.5 months, cannabis has been louder in the mainstream than any point in recent memory. And it all started, as we know, back on August 11th, when President Donald Trump was asked at a press conference about rescheduling. And he said, as we know, we will be making a decision in a few weeks. Of course, that hasn't happened. But that single moment, it cracked open a floodgate of attention from cable news hosts to podcasters to athletes to senators literally fighting on the Senate floor. So today I want to break down what's been said, the positives and the negatives, and why the volume itself is the actual story in all this. Because no news is bad news. We need attention. So let's get into our latest TDR Cannabis in 5. All right, let's start with Trump. Yes, again, August 11th, he was asked directly about cannabis rescheduling. His answer, it wasn't a full-throated endorsement, but it was enough. He said rescheduling was on the table and a decision would come within the next few weeks. So that comment alone, looking back now, it sent shockwaves through the industry. Investors obviously perked up, advocates mobilized, and suddenly cannabis wasn't a fringe issue. It was a presidential talking point, and it was without a doubt. So then once that happened, within a few days, you then had conservative voices jump in. Ingraham, she raised concerns about rescheduling, what it might mean for youth access and public health. She put it bluntly, the broken promises of marijuana legalization are impossible to ignore. So misleading. Tucker Carlson, he went even harder. He said, once you understand just how destructive cannabis is to young men, it's hard not to see it as a tool of social control. He leaned on psychiatrist Dr. Daniel who argued cannabis lowers brain blood flow and activity. So really, look, whether you agree with them or not, here is the point in all this. When Ingraham and Tucker Carlson are debating cannabis, we know millions of viewers are hearing about what they're saying. So that obviously means mainstream penetration. It's no longer advocacy groups or niche podcasts, it's prime time cable in all this, whether it's good or bad, and we want news around this. Now, as we switch from cable TV, let's now go to podcasts, and you've got Joe Rogan. He's long been open about cannabis use, but in recent months, he's gone even further, talking about how cannabis fits into wellness, creativity, and in some cases, even comparing the cannabis industry's growth to the early days of tech. Yeah, he said that. On the hemp THC ban, Rogan was obviously loud last week where he said, hey, look, they slipped this thing in where you can no longer buy CBD. It's really bad. He even accused big alcohol of influencing Congress, and he's right. So Rogan's framing, it's obviously an important one here. He isn't just saying cannabis is fun. He says it's part of a big cultural and economic shift. And his audience, it's massive. People who might not watch CNN or Fox News, but they'll listen to a 3-hour conversation about cannabis and psychedelics. And his audience dwarfs the size of cable TV. And of course, the centerpiece in all this, as we know, is Mike Tyson. He's become one of the most visible celebrity advocates for cannabis. His brand, obviously, Tyson 2.0, is everywhere right now, and he's been vocal about cannabis and how it's helped him personally. Whether it was for managing pain, defining balance, it has been a big portion. In a lot of ways, he said it saved his life. He told Fox News, some of us can't live, can't function without it. I'm 100% of those people. Tyson also pressed Trump to deliver on rescheduling, and he still believes it will happen. So his voice, it matters because it bridges sports, celebrity, and business. So when he talks cannabis, it's not just about reform, it's about opportunity. So when we factor all this in, let's now pivot to Washington. And one of the most striking moments was at a press conference earlier this month. It was involving senators literally fighting on the Senate floor over intoxicating hemp products and THC. Who do we have? Well, we had Senator Rand Paul, who tried to strip hemp THC crackdown language from the shutdown deal. So that chamber, it blocked him 76-24. Then you had Senator Ted Cruz, who broke ranks to side with Paul, one of only 2 Republicans doing so. So that moment, it showed how contentious this issue has become. Some senators, like Mitch McConnell, they argued intoxicating hemp products are slipping through loopholes. Others defended them as part of the broader cannabis economy. So as we know, it was messy, it was loud, but it was historic. This was a topic on Congress floor. This wasn't just debated, it was fought over in real time. Okay, so now that I've said all this, let's take a step back. When we look back over the past 3.5 months, what have we seen right now? 1, Trump acknowledging rescheduling. 2, conservative hosts like Ingraham and Tucker Carlson debating cannabis. 3, Joe Rogan, he's amplifying cannabis as part of a cultural shift. 4, you've got Mike Tyson pushing cannabis as legitimate business. And then 5, senators fighting over THC products on the Senate floor. When you factor all this in, that's a lot of noise, and that's key. Noise is good for the industry. Why? Because as we know, silence is the enemy. For years, cannabis reform, it's been ignored time and time again, sidelined or whispered about. Now it's being shouted about on TV, on podcasts, and yes, in Congress. Yes, there are negatives. Some voices are critical, but every time cannabis is debated, it moves closer to normalization. Every time it's covered, more people learn, more investors pay attention, more policymakers are forced to take a position on this issue. So as I share all this, here is my takeaway. Noise, it beats silence. Attention, even critical, it forces clarification. Tucker and Ingraham's framing, it pushes public health research into the foreground. Rogan's critique, it spotlights consumer protection. Tyson's advocacy, it humanizes the use case. And senators fighting forces definitions into statute rather than letting loopholes run the market. So as we know, fragmentation is the path to normalization. The hemp ban fight, it shows the market will be carved by product class, intoxicating hemp versus state cannabis. And that fragmentation, it creates regulatory pressure and industry adaptation, which ultimately standardizes safety, labeling, enforcement. You see, people, we are making some progress here because cross pressures, they help policy mature. So when conservative media raises youth and potency concerns, while mainstream voices argue for liberty and therapeutic access, policy evolves towards guardrails, potency caps, age controls, product standards, rather than binary bans. And guess what in all this? That's how mature industries are built. So the bottom line, the conversation is indeed getting louder, and that is good. It won't be raw, it will be messy, but messy is momentum. The more the country argues about cannabis and hemp, the more inevitable it becomes that we regulate this like adults, invest with clarity, and stop pretending silence was ever a strategy, because we all know it wasn't. So again, I know we don't have the answers that we want right now, but progress is being made. We're getting clarity now from Washington a little bit, step by step. And as I said before, the conversation is becoming louder and louder. And you need that in order for change. So that's it for our latest TDR Cannabis in 5. Give me your feedback. Leave your comments below on this take of this video and really what you think the progress is being made. What else needs to be shared? I'd love to get your feedback. So again, leave those comments. And if you like this breakdown, give it a like, subscribe, smash on that bell for all notifications. Stay connected with us here at TDR because we hope we get some real concrete changes on the federal level, rescheduling soon. And if you want that, you got to continue to talk about it. That's it for now, everybody. We'll see you in the next video. Enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time at our latest TDR Cannabis in 5. Take care, everyone.